podcast, man. And it's certain moments that you have when you do these things, and I think it's more the moment. These guys came from Woods of Delaware. Where was you from?
Who's fighting right now? Who's fighting right now? Who's fighting right now? Who's Let me see him. Let me see him. Let me see him. Let me see him.
Listen, man, it's your boy D-Mac, man. Fire Nice Podcast.
Let me see him. Let me see him.
Yeah. Yeah. Can you hear it? Can you hear
Feel it. I can feel it.
Can you hear it? Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Welcome. It is Sunday, November 27th. You're welcome to the Fire and Ice pregame experience. I am Coach P, accompanied by my esteemed namesake of the show, Fresh Fire. How you feeling this morning, bro?
I'm feeling lovely, man. It's football Sunday, another day to see who's going to rise to the occasion, who's going to bow to under expectations, and see who's going to surprise me. It's upon us.
Your Fire and Ice experience pregame show is brought to you by the good folks at Studio 7. For all your recording needs, check them out on all your social media platforms, all your entertainment and recording and video needs. Once again, Studio 7. So without further ado, shout out to B. Matt. Let's not stand on ceremony, bro. Let's jump right into it. First game on the docket. We've got the Denver Broncos at 3-7 at the Carolina Panthers at 3-8. Bank of America Stadium in Charlotte. We'll go with the injury report first and foremost. We will have the Broncos wide receiver, first and foremost, who's out. Wide receiver KJ Hamler with a hamstring. Wide receiver Jerry Jeudy, ankle. Defensive lineman Jonathan Harris, knee. Cornerback Juwan Williams, wrist, elbow, knee. Questionable tight end Andrew Beck, hamstring. Outside linebacker Jacob Martin, knee. Those are the guys that's questionable. For the Panthers, out is defensive tackle Matthew Ioannidis, calf. Outside linebacker Corey Littleton, ankle. Free safety Miles Hartsford, doubtful. Quarterback PJ Walker, ankle. Tight end Giovanni Ricci, questionable. Wide receiver Terrence Marshall Jr., shoulder. Tight end Ian Thomas, illness. Tight end Stephen Sullivan, illness. Thoughts on the game, bro?
Man, you just said a whole bunch of names for me to just say put both those teams in a hat, shake them up, and say who's at home.
Carolina Panthers for you, FYI. The Carolina Panthers are at home.
Right. I'm assuming this is a 1:00 game. Denver got to travel across country. Russ hasn't been cooking at all this year. The head coach is giving away play calling duties on the offense. It looks like things are spiraling out of control. They cut Melvin Gordon, butterfingers in the backfield. I don't think they're going to travel across the country and even show up and look like anything today. Man, please give me the Panthers 9-6.
Give me the Panthers 21-17, 21-10. Panthers 21-10. Next game on the docket, Tampa Bay Buccaneers at 5-5. traveling to Cleveland to play the Cleveland Browns at 3-7 and First Energy Stadium at 1 o'clock. The injury report is the Buccaneers out is running back Leonard Fournette dealing with a hip injury. Offensive guard Luke Gadecki dealing with a foot injury. Questionable nose tackle Vita Vea dealing with a foot injury. Out for the Browns, cornerback Greg Newsome in the concussion protocol. Thoughts on the game?
Well, I really thought the Browns was going. Well, no, I didn't. I thought the Browns needed to really tread and play a little bit better before Deshaun Watson came back. They haven't shown me much. Chubb, Amari Cooper, but Jacoby Brissett is the one that's really holding, I think, them back. And I think it's going to be a little bit too late when Deshaun Watson comes back. I want to say next week, because I think they lose this week to Tommy and them. They're coming off. They got some momentum. Leonard Fournette's out, but they got Rashad, I want to say White, that's his name, to back up. He's very, very capable. I really like Tampa Bay to get fat today. Not really fat, but it'll be a very solid victory, something like 28-10.
Neither of these teams impressed me, but I think Tampa Tom is just trying to get down the stretch to get to the playoffs, get some healthy bodies back on the field. I got Tampa Bay in this one. Give me Tampa Bay 17-13. Next game on the docket, we've got the Ravens versus we've got the Ravens versus the Jaguars. Ravens at 7-3, traveling to Jacksonville at 3-7, 1 o'clock at TIAA Bank Field. Out for the Ravens, tight end Isaiah Kelly dealing with an ankle injury. Left tackle Ronnie Stanley dealing with an ankle injury. Cornerback Jalen Armour Davis, hip injury. Questionable Gus Edwards, hamstring and knee injuries. Wide receiver Devin Duvernay, hamstring. Wide receiver Demarcus Robinson, hip. Safety Kyle Hamilton dealing with a knee injury. The Jags do not have any players out nor questionable. Thoughts on the game?
I really think the Jaguars played under their talent level this year, and I'm looking squarely at Trevor Lawrence and that.
Good morning, Mac.
That side of the ball. Put it that way. I think today they show up and give a spirited rah sis boom ba. I think today they actually show up and give a professional effort. I'm not sure if today is going to be enough to outdo what Lamar Jackson. Mark Andrews is getting a little bit healthier. I want to say this is be his second week back off of injury. They keep it seem like 2 or 3 running backs that are questionable like all the time, but Lamar Jackson is the major cog that moves that. So with him on the field, him being probably the best player on the field, both sides of the ball on the other side, on either team, I think he'll be enough to pull it out for Baltimore. And I actually think it'll be close, but I think Lamar pulls it out in almost a heroic effort, just Lamar doing this and Lamar doing that. Give me 24-23.
I'm along the same lines. You got Lamar Jackson. He's the best player on the field for both teams. I'm going to take the Ravens 24-21 in a close game. Ravens pull it out and go home. Next game on the docket, we've got the Houston Texans at 1-8-1 at the Miami Dolphins at 1 o'clock at Hard Rock Stadium. Injury report for the Texans, out. Cornerback Derek Stingley with a hamstring. The Dolphins, doubtful running back Raheem Mostert with a knee injury. Questionable quarterback Teddy Bridgewater with a knee injury. Thoughts on the game?
Not very many. I don't really think Houston has much of a shot. I don't think they gave themselves much of a shot. They got a backup quarterback going today. They're going into Miami. Miami's no joke.
They've switched quarterbacks. I think they Davis Mills has gotten the benching. I forgot who they put in. So they're going with a new quarterback today.
Yeah. I'm not sure if that's the one place you want to start out, a new quarterback. You're going into Miami. They got a pretty tough defense. You may have to weather to deal with. I don't know. I actually think, man, this might get hairy. The Houston Texans aren't all that good in the first place. So this got the potential to get hairy. So Tyreek Hill, Jalen Waddle, Tua Tagovailoa, I really like them to get 30-plus points, and I don't really think Houston's going to break the 10-point barrier. So I'll give it 33-10, and I actually think it may be put away probably before the first half is over.
I'm going to go 35-7 along the same lines. I don't really have much respect for the Texans. Around this time, Dolphins can't afford to drop this sort of game. This is kind of like a meatball game.
Yeah.
Served right up to them at the perfect time. They should tune up on them to the tune of 35-7, maybe even more. It might even be worse than that. Next game on the docket, we've got the Chicago Bears at 3-8, traveling to MetLife Stadium to battle the New York Jets. 1:00 start. Out for the Bears, Sterling Weatherford, concussion protocol, defensive back Jaquan Brisker, and Kyler Gordon in a concussion protocol. Questionable is quarterback Justin Fields with a shoulder injury.
I hear that's not to his throwing shoulder, though. I hear that's not to his throwing shoulder.
Right. Still questionable. It's enough to have him questionable. So for the Jets, out defensive Sheldon Rankins with an elbow injury. Doubtful is tight end Kenny Yeboah with a calf injury. Questionable offensive tackle Dwayne Brown with a shoulder. Game thoughts?
It's going to be tough for Justin Fields. I mean, he's been playing some very inspired ball. He's definitely given me enough to say, well, if we put, the requisite pieces around him, let's see what we can get out of him. He's definitely given me that much. But if they're bereft of talent in the first place, it's not going to be, someone jumping up now at this stage of the season to play hero ball and playing and being someone that they're not. Only person who's probably even capable of doing that is Justin Fields, and he's a little dinged up. The Jets, on the other hand, they are going with a backup in Mike White, if I'm not mistaken. And I actually think that he actually may be a little bit better at this point in his career than Zach Wilson. He may not be as talented as Zach Wilson, but I think he may be a little bit better than Zach Wilson because I think he's a little steadier. I think he's a little bit more accurate, and I think his fundamentals, just in the pocket, are a little bit better than Zach Wilson's at this point in both of their very, kind of young careers. So with that being said, I already like the Jets. I don't think, the Bears are going to be able to muster up enough. Well, just the Justin Fields and David Montgomery show is going to be able to muster up enough. Give me the Jets. 27-14. And those are probably 2 touchdowns that was probably engineered solely by Justin Fields.
So I want to make a correction on the Tuesday Night Experience show. I had a take on Justin Fields. I want to correct something. In that game versus the Patriots, he only threw 22 passes, only completed 9. I thought I had him passing more than that, but he did only complete 9 passes for 77 yards. So with that being said, even with the lesser amount of passes, still enough to get him benched. Talking about a guy that only has 4 touchdowns on the season. The New York Jets can't afford to drop this game at all. At 6-4, you have to win this game. You've got to beat the Bears. I think they have the requisite defense to do it, and I think they make it close to a shutout. I'm going to say shutout. I'm gonna call a shutout. I'm gonna go 24-0. No, not 24-0. I'm gonna go 20-0 shutout. 20-0 shutout. New York Jets in a defensive display. I think that the offense puts enough points on the board. They don't have the ineptitude to deal with Zach Wilson at this point. I think that they move forward. They get this win.
The New York City cream cheese bagel has been put on them.
I think I'm gonna put the bagel out there. Let's live a little bit. Next game, we got the Cincinnati Bengals at 6-4, traveling to Nissan Stadium to battle the Tennessee Titans at 7-3. Out for the Bengals, running back Joe Mixon in a concussion protocol. Questionable wide receiver Jamar Chase with a hip injury. Defensive tackle Josh Tupou with the calf injury. Linebacker Joe Bacci with a knee. And safety Daxton Hill with a shoulder injury. Out for the Titans, outside linebacker Danico Autry with a knee injury. Questionable running back Hassan Haskins with a hip injury. Center Ben Jones in a concussion protocol. Defensive tackle Jeffrey Simmons with an ankle injury. Cornerback Christian Fulton with a hamstring injury. And kicker Randy Bullock with a calf injury. Thoughts on the game?
This is going to be a tough one either way, man. These are I think these are two tough teams, two kind of evenly matched teams, except when it comes to wide receiver. I think the Joe Mixon absence today from him being in the concussion protocol is going to hurt Cincinnati greatly. In a game like this where you're going to need everybody to bring their big boy pads, Joe Mixon is one who usually is in the front of the fight, for the Cincinnati Bengals. I'm not sure if Jamar Chase is back yet. I would assume
He's questionable.
So I would assume he's coming back. He's been out the last couple of weeks, so questionable. If anybody's usually questionable, that means they're playing. So that means he's actually getting better and probably playing. That's a great addition you would like to have in a game like this. With that being said, the Titans are at home. Derrick Henry, King Henry, Derrick Henry, King Henry. All day long, that's hard to stop. Ryan Tannehill, as long as he doesn't turn the ball over, I think they win a close one. I think it probably is kind of ugly, kind of muddy. Might look like a 80s kind of game. It could be. Give me 2013 Titans.
If Jamar Chase suits up, I got the Bengals. Let's go out on a limb, regardless of whether Jamar Chase suits up. I'm going to go with the Bengals. The Bengals need this. They're trending in the right direction. That offense is starting to take chunks out of the field, put points on the board. I don't think the Titans can keep up. I'm going to go with the Cincinnati Bengals. The Titans will put points on the board, but I'm going to go to tight one, not as low scoring as this game may indicate. I'm going to go with I'm going to say 28-27 Cincinnati Bengals. 28-27 Bengals.
Okay.
Next game on the docket, we've got the 5-6 Atlanta Falcons traveling to FedEx Field to battle the 6-5 Washington Commanders. Doubtful for the Falcons, defensive tackle Jalen Dalton with a toe injury, questionable. Running back Caleb Huntley with an ankle injury. Tight end Felipe Franks with a calf injury. Offensive tackle Chuma Edoga with a knee. Linebacker Arnold Ebitiki with an arm injury. Out for the Commanders, wide receiver returner Dax Milne with a foot injury. Cornerback Benjamin St. Juste with an ankle injury. Questionable tight end Logan Thomas with rib injury. Defensive end Chase Young with the knee injury, with recovering and coming back from, of course, his ACL surgery was activated this week, but questionable because of, I think they're just being tentative with him. Thoughts on the game?
Well, I'm not really sure, man. Either one of these teams. We got the Falcons, who I don't know, man. They playing hard. They're not playing hard. I'm trying to get, behind them. I'm not very sure what's going on with them, man. I really like the, Cordero Patterson return, to the lineup. I really think that he is the best player on their team. I think they really need him. And are they at home?
They travel to FedEx Field. They are on the road.
Got you. FedEx Field. With that being said, I'm not sure if that's going to be enough to travel into FedEx Field. And the guys on your chest, I think they get a W today. I think they get a rather easy W today. I don't think a lot of people are seeing Washington coming. I think they're getting a little bit healthier. The addition of Chase Young to the lineup today, am I correct?
He's questionable. I don't think he plays though. I think that because he's questionable. I think that they're going to play.
Right.
They're going to round down, so to speak. They're going to.
I heard you say that, and I'm thinking myself, I don't think they would have made him questionable without him playing today, because like I was saying before, a lot of people who are labeled questionable, they're usually slated to play that day. So if you're coming off an injury, especially all the injury that he did, I think he plays the day for y'all. I think that's inspirational. I think a lot of things come together today, and I think you guys get a real easy victory. I think you probably put up. Can you guys get to 30? 29-9. I like y'all today. Easy.
I don't have any concerns this game. Only Cordero Patterson is my biggest concern because he normally plays well against us. I think with that being said, the defense for the Commanders are starting to play to that top 5 defense that they're billed as and that you want to see if you're a Commanders fan. My only issue is the fact that they can't run away with games. They can move the ball up and down the field, but the biggest issue with the team has been red zone woes. If they can solve the red zone woes, I think this is an easy game going away. Because of the red zone woes, I think this game is much closer. Not close from the standpoint of the threat of losing, but I think it's more or less a game where it could be 35-14. But because of the red zone woes, I think it's more of a 24-14 game. 24-14 or 21-14, 23-14, something like that. So I'm going to say 23-14 in a rather easy game. I think the Falcons get a late touchdown to pull it close, but I think Washington commands this game pretty much from start to finish. The defense is playing lights out right now. And not to mention that on top of that, it's Sean Taylor Day at the stadium. It's going to be a lot of inspiration from that. They're unveiling the statue at the stadium. His daughter is going to be there to do the unveiling. A lot going on today. So the fan base is going to be crazy there. I'm gonna go with the Commanders, and I'm gonna say 24-14.
Yeah.
Next game on the docket, we've got the Los Angeles Chargers at 5-5, traveling to State Farm Stadium in Glendale, Arizona, to face the Arizona Cardinals at 4-7. Out for the Chargers, wide receiver Mike Williams and safety Nasir Adderley, UD baby, with a thumb injury. Questionable cornerback Mike Davis. For the Cardinals, wide receiver Rondale Moore with a groin injury. Tight end Zach Ertz with a knee injury. Offensive lineman DJ Humphries with a back injury. Cornerback Byron Murphy with a back injury. Safety Charles Washington with a chest injury. Questionable is quarterback Chase McSorley with an undisclosed illness, and wide receiver Greg Dortch with a thumb injury.
Wow. Two of my favorite underachieving teams on the season, the Chargers. I don't know, man. I'm not going to say much about the quarterback. I said I will reserve that right to the end of the season. I'll give him one more season. But the whole team, man, and then it's not even injuries now. Like you said they only have 2 injuries right now. They're
Mike Williams is out again.
That's a significant injury, but that's just one injury. As opposed to Arizona's injury list, it looked like it may have been 12 guys that you just read off. Neither one bode well for either team. You know, who I think both of them have underachieved. My favorite football player this year, man, people are taking shots at him, and Kyler Murray. I'm like, today I actually think Brandon Herbert digs down deep and finds a way to go into Arizona and pluck off the Cardinals in a shootout. 37-35. Chargers.
I think it's going to be a shootout, but I think it's going to be the other way. I got the Cardinals winning 35-28. Cardinals 35-28. And this is going to start the downward spiral, or a lot of talks about Justin Herbert with the Los Angeles Chargers in reference to them having to make some wholesale changes, because what's going to happen here is he loses this game, you'll start to hear some rumblings about, him not being able to lead them to the playoffs. So I think it may start here. Like I said during the Tuesday show, I'm off the train. It is what it is. They've lost too many games this year where they should have won. You're sitting at 5-5. That division is ripe for the picking in terms of you got to keep pace with the Chiefs. Chiefs are humming along like normal. I picked the Chiefs to win this division. The Chiefs are humming along as normal, but you could at least, with how Denver's playing and the Chargers are playing, you should be right along there with the Chiefs. So I'm going to go with the Cardinals. Like I said, Cardinals 35-28. High scoring affair. Cardinals pull this one out. Next game on the docket, we've got the Los Angeles Raiders at 3-7, traveling to Lumen Field. This is the second game of the 4:05 starts. For the Raiders, the injury report, questionable is running back Josh Jacobs with a calf injury, offensive tackle Colton Miller with a shoulder injury, Kendall Vickers with a back injury, and linebacker Luke Masterson with rib injury. We've got the Seahawks out as wide receiver Dwayne Eskridge with a hand injury, and offensive tackle Abraham Lucas with an undisclosed illness.
I actually think, man, I think this is going to be a close game. I think it's going to be a hard-fought game. I think both teams have something to play for. You know, the Seattle Seahawks want to keep their momentum. They want to stay out in front of their division. They actually have to stay out in front of their division. They got the Niners breathing down their neck. I think the Raiders now, they seem like they may have had to come to the meeting. You know what I'm saying? They had a cleansing, and Derek Carr is a great guy to get behind. I think they have the talent. They've just been playing grossly under their projected values. But I think today it's going to be a showing of a team that should have been playing all year long that just hasn't been for Las Vegas. I'm not sure if they can go into Seattle and beat Seattle right now, but I actually think this is going to be another game where they show we have the talent, we have all the requisite things around us. We just can't get it done this time. You know what? I'm going to be a fool again. Give me the Raiders going into Seattle and pulling one out. I think they pull one out today.
No. I'm going with the Seahawks. Rather handedly, 27 to 14. Seahawks get this done. I think the Raiders, as much as they need this game, I think the season's done for them. It's 3-7. You lose this game, now you're going to have to start playing some other guys just to see what you got. This game will put them at 3-8. Season's done for them. Seahawks still have a lot more football left to play. They're in the thick of things in that division. At 7-4, this puts you in an extremely good position. So they have to win this game. It's a must-win for Seattle. The Raiders are playing spoiler at this point. They're not a very good spoiler, in my opinion. The only thing that they're playing for is getting Devontae Adams touchdowns, and that's about it. No Josh Jacobs. Doesn't bode well for the Raiders. I got Seattle in this one. Next game at 4:25 start time, we've got Los Angeles Rams at 3-7, traveling to Arrowhead Stadium to battle the Kansas City Chiefs at 8-2. Injury report for the Rams: out is quarterback Matthew Stafford.
Ouch.
Cornerback Brian Allen, defensive tackle Ashawn Robinson, and linebacker Trevin Howard. Questionable for the Rams: wide receiver Allen Robinson, tight end Tyler Higbee. Wow. Ty Nsekhe ankle and Matt Skura knee. It's a walking mash unit.
Yeah.
Out for the Chiefs is wide receiver Kadarius Toney. Questionable offensive guard Joe Thuney, cornerback Chris Lamons, and Juan Thorhill. Thoughts on the game, bro?
Man, the Rams, man. Hey, coach, keep your phone charged up. You may get a call. They may need you to suit up. They got an opposite jersey for you to wear. Dog, they have no one over there. Like, I was like, who's throwing the ball? Who's catching the ball? Who's running the ball? Who's tackling people? This is crazy for the Rams, man. This is a very precipitous drop for a Super Bowl champion. I haven't really remember somebody falling off like this after winning the Super Bowl. It's not just injuries. It just seems like it's a lot of things with the Rams. And today it seems like the injuries are highlighting a lot of lack of talent, a lot of lack of success for a defending champion. Man, and going into Arrowhead, what everybody says is traditionally a very tough place to play. Andy Reid and them not going to make it easy on you. They're not going to be caring about your injuries and none of that. They might be out there running trick plays and they doing fancy spinning rounds in the backfield. It may get ugly or it may get late early. All them guys out, I might got to check my picks again. Let me go with the Chiefs, 37. The Rams ain't going to be able to score no more than about 13 points.
I'll make this short and sweet. Kansas City Chiefs and a laugher, 30-3. Moving on. Next game, we've got the 4-7. And just of note, the Rams are 3-7. No, you're starting quarterbacks out. They throw in a towel. Just throw in a towel. Play for a draft pick at this point. Start over.
Yeah.
Just start over fresh next year. It's over. It's over.
Yeah, they tanking for Victor Wembanyama. Yeah,
It's over.
it's about that
It's
time now.
It's over. 4-7 Saints travel to Levi Stadium to battle the 6-4 San Francisco 49ers. Injury report reads as follows. Out for the Saints, defensive end Peyton Turner, linebacker Pete Werner, safety JT Gray, questionable Mark Ingram, Andrus Peat, Cam Jordan, Marcus Davenport, and Marshawn Lattimore. Doubtful for the Niners, defensive lineman Eric Armstead, questionable wide receiver Deebo Samuel. Thoughts on this game?
The Saints, man, they already been underachieving all year. They got some very key names that you just named off that are questionable. The Red Rifle, famous Jameis, neither one of them are going to be able to. Well, no, Jameis probably could reach back a little bit further and pull something out of his hat before Andy Dalton could, but he's not playing. Give me the Niners. And I think this one here is not going to be a whole lot of points scored on the Saints' behalf. Give me the Niners 27-6. Yeah, I think they get 2 field goals, 27-6.
I'm going to be short and sweet with this one as well. 49ers have to win this game because they have the same record as Seattle, who I'm projecting to win today. Got to keep pace. This is normally the time of the year where the Niners turn up. I got the Niners in this one. The Saints aren't going to be able to stop them. They have guys at key positions. Both defensive ends are out and cornerback. That smells like disaster against this weirdo team, the Niners, who can run so many different things at you. They've got so many weapons right now. This isn't even going to come down to Jimmy G. There, you're going to see a lot of jet sweeps and screens, short passes getting taken to the house. I got the Niners in another laugher here. I'm going to go out and say 34-9. I don't even think the Saints score a touchdown. I'll say 35-9, a laugher. Yeah. Next game on the docket. This is the Sunday night tilt. We've got the Green Bay Packers at 4-7, traveling to Lincoln Financial Field to face the 9-1 Philadelphia Eagles. For the Packers, out is wide receiver Romeo Doubs. Doubtful is linebacker Devondre Campbell. Questionable is offensive tackle David Bakhtiari. Cornerback Shamar Jean Charles. Eagles are fully healthy at this point.
Wow.
Thoughts on this game?
The Eagles have been playing a very good brand of football this year. Very solid, very steady. Last week showed that they had the mettle. Okay, well, we can get down. We can actually come back. We have some fortitude, and we can show that way that we can not just win, from running the ball on people. And they have shown the mettle. The Green Bay Packers have been a very weird team to really grasp hold of. They got a lot of talent for some reason, and they just, throwing the ball away, missed tackles, injuries, missed assignments, bad play calling. It's been a lot of things, man. It's just been a lot of things. Aaron Rodgers doesn't look the same to me, but he has a thumb injury. So with all of that being said, man, I'm not sure if they can go into Lincoln Financial Field tonight and get a W against the Eagles right now. I actually think they have shot their load 2-3 weeks ago. Like I said, when they played Dallas, that was all we got, man. We rallied the troops that one game. Rest here on out, we're not going to have enough to beat anybody who puts forth a requisite professional effort, which the Eagles do every week. The Eagles win rather solidly, 27-13. No, 30-13. I think Aaron Rodgers probably even gets injured tonight too. Not saying injured, but his thumb's going to be hurt a little bit more tonight, and he may be sitting on the sideline. And let's get him out of here, and let's see what we can see from their backup, Jordan Love.
I think this is going to be a lot tighter than people think. I still think the Eagles are in this period where they're finding themselves because those blowout wins really don't define them. These are the games that are defining them, making them pull from areas where, they're not necessarily used to pulling from. They squeaked out the game last week. That showed some intestinal fortitude. That was impressive on the road to win that game down, by all means, converting multiple third and fourth downs. I think this is a game where, despite how horrible Aaron Rodgers has been, he's still fourth in touchdowns. I think he throws a few in this game. I think there's going to be a lot of fireworks in this particular game. It's going to be a pretty good game. I'm going to go 23-17. Eagles pull it out, 23-17. But I would not be surprised if the Packers pull this out. I got the Eagles on paper, 24-17, closer than a lot of people think. One score game. Yeah, I think a one score game, 23-17. Next game on the docket and final game of the week is the Monday night tilt between the 3-7 Pittsburgh Steelers traveling to Lucas Oil Stadium to play the Indianapolis Colts. Injury report for the Steelers: running back Jaylen Warren is out, cornerback Ahkello Witherspoon is out, questionable wide receiver Miles Boykin, and linebacker Robert Spillane. Questionable for the Colts, tight end Kylan Granson, defensive tackle DeForest Buckner, defensive end Kwity Paye, and defensive end Yannick Ngakoue. Thoughts on the game, bro?
Well, these are two teams, man. They've had a lot of bad luck. Some things just stacked up against them this year. Maybe a little bit, too little. Right now for everybody in Pittsburgh, it's just not enough. Indianapolis, I'm not sure what's going on. The talent there seems like it should have played a little bit better than it did this season. Pittsburgh, I thought they were just a little bit naive in thinking Kenny Two Gloves was going to be the guy that takes or do anything this year besides Trubisky or not. You know what I'm saying? So with that being said, these two teams, man, I can't say shake them up, because I know who I like. The Indianapolis Colts in this one. It's just not going to be very interesting game. Man, I actually think it might be one of those, JV, one of those hard Thursday afternoons, it's raining, muddy, and they probably be playing inside. Give me 10-6 Indianapolis Colts.
I'm going to go with the Colts as well. I'm going to go chalk. I think a little bit more scoring than that. I think it might be actually an interesting game, as weird as this may sound. Might be an interesting game. Only because I think the Fighting Jeff Saturdays they don't like the taste in their mouth from last week. They had the Eagles on the ropes. Eagles took the stand in 8 count, got up, and won on the scorer's card. So I think they have a bad taste in their mouth. I think the Colts pulled this one out Not an easy one, though. I don't think it's an easy one. I think this is something along the lines of 21-17. I think 21-17.
See, you got a little bit more faith in these offenses to put up points. I'm looking at both these teams. It's a little bit harder to score than people think. And I'm like, both these offenses are a little bit challenged, especially the Steelers' offense. Man,
I don't have much faith in either defense. But what I did see, I saw the Colts come off of last week and hold a potent Eagles offense under 14 points. So I think that carries over to the Steelers. I think they don't, like I said, I don't think they like the taste in their mouth. I think they come out, and I think both teams actually play well. I don't think this is as much of a stinker as we think, because I think the defenses, the Colts, I think their defense is better than the Steelers. The Steelers do put up some points because I think they'll get some big plays. But I think ultimately Indianapolis Colts pull this one out by a score.
Oh, I'm not trusting that, man. This might be a stinker, man.
This might be a stinker? Okay.
I think it might be a stinker.
I have a stinker, but it ain't this one. I don't think it's going to be this game. As much as it looks like the stinker, I'm going to go out on a limb and say that it's not going to be the stinker.
Yeah.
So there has it. We got the week 12 or week 12 picks in. You feel good about your picks, bro?
Hey, man, I feel good about all my picks, man. All you can do is go with your gut, go with whatever you think, in your head is the right way to pick a game or look at a game and let it play out. Those type of things. I never really take them that seriously unless I have money on the line, but I am standing behind all of my picks. I picked them and all that kind of stuff, and hopefully all these teams can go, 15, 16-0 for me this week and put some money in my pocket. Let's go.
I can dig it. Any game in particular you stoked about, you enthused about, or you kind of keeping your eye on?
Well, this week I want to see. It's a nationally televised game, the Eagles and the Packers. I want to see if they can actually keep pace or keep the lead out in front of the NFC and the NFC East in particular, because it doesn't look like Dallas is slowing down. The Giants may be falling out of the wayside, but like I'm predicting, I think the Commanders may be stepping into that role like right behind them. So I want to see if they actually have what it takes to be the hunted right now.
I'm looking at the Cincinnati-Tennessee game. That's the game. That's an interesting game there. To me, I think both teams need this. Cincinnati's got to have this game. They're playing well at the right time. Tennessee it's just Tennessee. They play that ball control. We'll take some play action here. We'll make a couple plays in the air, and you have to beat us because we're not going to beat ourselves. That's the game that I'm keeping my eye on, and I hope that game turns out to be what I think it is, which would be the game of the day. So let's see what happens. Any closing thoughts, my bro?
Well, I'm going to get my spread together. I think I got a lot of my tickets and my lineups all set up. I don't know why don't nobody want to trade. I think I even asked you for a trade, but don't nobody want to trade me. But it's okay. It's fine. I gotta look at that because I haven't set my lineup. I haven't actually looked at it. I haven't looked at it, bro. I gotta check it out. We might be able to make a move. I'm not a trade guy. I'm not really big on trades. Holler at me, man. But yeah, man. I'm just going to get ready for this football Sunday, man. How you feeling, bro?
I'm good. I think this is a big game for my guys today. I need to see them come out with some fire like they came out with last week. I want the defense to continue to trend upwards, because if it does, I don't think it's any way we lose this game just from a defensive standpoint. What I want to see is the offense convert more of these red zone possessions into touchdowns and not field goals, because I think we need some feel-good wins. We haven't had any feel-good wins. Last week was a feel-good win. It was a dominating game, but I can't claim a game against the Texans as a dominating win. You didn't dominate them. You just, the game was closer because of you. You let the game be close because they didn't pose a threat. You just didn't put it on them like you were supposed to. So they gotta solve these red zone woes. They have to. If you don't, it's going to bite you in the ass at some point. In the beginning of this season, red zone possessions were not an issue. It was just getting down there that was the issue. When we got down there, we punched him in, but to change a quarterback, and it's typical with Taylor, is that he has red zone woes. I don't know what that is, but they got to solve them, and they got to solve them today because Atlanta can put some points on the board. You got Mariota out there running around like he's crazy. You've got Kyle Pitts out there who's got some talent. And you got Cordero Patterson out there. They can put some points on the board if you're not careful. We've been eliminating the big play within the last couple of weeks, so I'm confident in this game. A lot of things going on in the stadium today. I think we win this one. I just want to see us execute better on offense.
I really think y'all. That's what I'm saying. It's a lot of things going on, man. It's going to be hard to beat Sean Taylor. It's going to be, like I said, it was hard for the Sixers to beat Boston, on Bill Russell night. How could we beat that? There's so many things going on, and you already are playing a little bit better. You're getting back at Chase Young, who I think, why is he sitting out today? Come on, there's a lot of things going on. I'm playing today, coach. If it's one play, I'm getting out there. It's just going to be so much going on.
He might play in obvious passing situations, third and 15. They might throw him in there on an obvious passing situation, but I don't think he gets any, get a hefty dose today. He might get obvious passing situations. We catch them in third and long. You might see him every now and then, but honestly, the reports that I'm getting is that he won't play at all, but we'll see.
I'm thinking he plays, man. And I actually think, man, it's just going to be overwhelming. It's just fumble, and he's taking it back, and it's a tip off his hand. I really think it might get hairy today. It's just going to be too much to overcome for the Falcons, man. In you guys' favor, man. And that's what I'm saying. I think you guys are probably going to be taking the place of the New York Giants. They're falling out.
So. I hope so.
Charging in.
Well, we have to do it today. This can't be a game that you go in and you lay an egg on both sides of the football. Our problem is that we haven't had consistent play in the same afternoon on both sides of the football. So what happens is when you only got stellar play on one side of the ball on offense one week, and then 1 week the defense is stellar, you end up in these late game situations. The last 2 weeks, they've been stellar on both sides of the football. Hopefully that continues. Got a lot of good momentum, a lot of good mojo going. Let's see if it continues. It says a lot about the team if it does continue. So with that being said, bro, this is your Week 12 pregame experience. You could be anywhere in the world, but you're rocking with us. We appreciate it. We love y'all. This Coach, my man Fresh Fire, we out of here. Take us out of here, bro.
We live at the Fire and Ice podcast, man, and it's certain moments that you have when you do these things, and I think it's more the moment.
These guys came from Woodland, Delaware.
Where was you from?
Now, who's fighting right now? Who's fighting right now? Who's fighting right now? Who's
Listen, man, it's your boy,